rebellious. What would you do if you found out it was you too? Rebellious. What would you do if you found out it was you too? Rebellious. What would you do if you found out it was you too? You rolled the dice, didn't get it right. Your savior come back to kill you. Rebellious. What would you do if you found out it was you too? Rebellious. What would you do if you found out it was you too? Rebellious. What would you do if you found out it was you too? You rolled the dice, didn't get it right. Your savior come back and kill you. Rebellious. If you are a leader, tell me how you leading. Are you leading righteously? Are you out deceiving? Expunging all your flaws, or you pay the cost? Continue in your ways and take a major loss. Yahweh gave his life for a holy nation, not for you to take his word and make an occupation. Though a workman is worthy of his labor, you can play with the sheep of his flock and face the Savior.
It is a dreadful thing to fall into the hands
You
of
better
a living
understand
God.
the seeds in the farmer's hand. He can destroy the land, make your life.
First question is, where do we go to begin the journey? Right? Read that.
Isaiah 34:16. Seek ye out of the book of the Most High, and read. No one of these shall fail. None shall want her mate. From my mouth it hath commanded, and his spirit it hath gathered them.
So this book, right? This book within itself is affirming itself. Now, on that statement there, read it again from the top. That's a bold statement, man. Right?
Seek ye out of the book.
It says, seek ye out of the book. What book is it talking about? The Bible. Bible is biblios, meaning book. So, seek ye out of the Bible and what?
And read.
Read, come on.
No one of these shall fail.
Not one of these prophecies that is contained in this Bible will fail. So you say, well, how can I be assured of this book? Not one of these prophecies will fail. If anything does not come to pass in that book, we can put the book in fire.
Okay.
All right? So that means that the conditions that we see today should be in the book. If we can't find these conditions in the book, then we shouldn't use that book. This is the prime reason why the Quran can't do that. The Quran can't do that. It's not a book of prophecy. It's a book that brothers use concerning wisdom and discipline and other things, but it does not compare. And even the Quran within itself tells you to read that book.
To read the Bible.
You understand that? So we start out to seek ye out of the book and read. Come on.
No one of these shall fail. None shall want her mate.
None shall want her mate. So that's a bold statement. That means no other book on the planet is going to be able to compare to that book. The Bible is making a bold statement. Read on.
For my mouth it hath commanded,
Right?
and his spirit it hath gathered them.
In his spirit, it had gathered them. Right? So the Bible is making a bold statement. So now, the conditions that we in, right? How did now this is again answering the second question, how to affirm that book is the book we need to be dealing with as a people. How do we affirm that? How do we confirm that, right? How do we get here in America?
How did we get here in America?
Yeah.
Oh shit, man! Now that's a broad statement. How did we get here in America?
Well, let me
few
simplify.
ways.
Let me simplify.
Okay,
What mode of transportation was used to bring us here?
ships.
Okay, ships. Did we come here on our free will on vacation?
Some of us did.
Yeah, but we're talking about a certain particular time.
Oh well. I mean,
Those who came on them ships, you was talking about.
right.
I'm not sure.
Let me ask you
if
this: What percentage of black people you think came to Americas? This Americas on ships, slave ships.
Let me ask you this: the Native Americans, right?
Right.
What they look like?
Us.
They look like us.
Right.
So what about these stringy-haired, pale-skinned?
That's like your. You always gotta you always got how can I say it, a nicer look. I don't want to say nicer, it's like what America, it's what the world puts and perceives as being nice.
Right.
Okay, what I mean by that is, we all know South Africa is in Africa, but the queen, but Miss South Africa is white this year. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, you know, we done seen Nefertiti. Nefertiti went from dark skin till she's white now. They doing it on the hieroglyphics. All the dark people that was dark, they putting a little chemical on them to kind of fade them and bleach them out. So
who doing that?
the European.
Okay, the European.
Right.
Right. So that's very good. So we have an understanding that the original people of America was dark skinned.
Right.
You can take that back with the evidence of the Amaleks,
Right.
which are those heads with the thick lips and the wide nose.
Right.
This is evidence that come back way before Columbus came to America.
Right.
So we understand, you understand, that the original people of this Americas was of a darker pigmentation.
Right.
Right? So that's number one. So when you get to talking about that's the people that was originally here. Let's take a stance and focus on those that was brought here in cargo slave ship,
okay.
because we can deal with the natives as well, right? We can deal with that. Well, let's deal with those that was brought here in cargo slave ship. Let's get Deuteronomy, man. Right?
Deuteronomy.
Right. So you have to understand this, right? Let me ask you this: is there such thing as unconditional love?
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay,
I think
So
I would think the love that God got for us got to be unconditional.
okay, so the love for God is unconditional.
Right.
Let's see.
His love for us.
Let's see. Let's see if the Bible agrees with you, right? Deuteronomy, you said 28 and 1.
21.
Yeah.
Book of obedience.
Let's see if there are any conditions.
And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken.
Hold up. It says if. Right?
Mhm.
Go ahead.
If thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God,
Uh-huh.
to observe and to do all his commandments,
Right?
which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
So the Bible says that if we do what the Most High said, then He would put us on high.
Right.
And then once you read down to the 15th verse, it starts telling you about all the particular blessings that will come upon us if we obey. Verse 15.
But it shall come to pass if thou wilt not
But if you will not, what?
hearken
Come on.
unto the voice of the Lord thy God,
Uh-huh.
to observe to do all his commandments
Right?
and his statutes,
Uh-huh.
which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee.
Hold up. Now that sounds like a condition right there. If you don't do what I'm telling you to do, then you in trouble.
Right.
That's a condition. That's no
Right.
different if you go, if you're a teenager and you go into your parents' home and you walk in, you slap your mom in the face and you look your father in his face and say, I ain't got to do nothing, you sin. What's going to happen to you?
Get beat down, killed.
Right? So,
Right.
ain't that a condition?
Yeah.
You got to have a certain level of behavior. Right? You got to have a certain behavior when you dealing with this power.
Right.
Right?
Right.
That's a condition.
Okay.
That's a condition because the reason I'm making this statement is because we have to understand as a people why is this earth in the condition and shape that it's in. We have to have a fuller understanding of what the Bible is saying. You know, what would allow a God to allow little children to be molested? What would allow a God to let a woman be raped? What would allow a God? What God would allow a man to be raped? Right?
You know what, man? I think. Older people say it a lot. They say God works in mysterious ways. Sometimes God will. You got to go through hell to get to heaven. Meaning you got to go through some things. You know, it ain't just gonna be given to us. And like you said, we didn't obey His word. We didn't read His word. So the condition and some of the curses that we go through,
Mhm.
that those are some of the ratifications that happens from not obeying. I mean, I think we might be cursed now because of some stuff that happened a long time ago, but you know, we stand true to God's word and we kind of working our way through it. Cause things ain't worse than they used to be.
Right.
But I mean,
That's the point, right?
right?
So we need to know, you said, like they say, that there's some things that God don't want you to know. Right?
You say it's some things that God don't want
This
us
is
to know.
this is what is said by certain people, right? Certain things God don't want you to know. Right?
Okay.
So if this is the case, why would he leave his everlasting word, right?
Right. As a comforter, right?
Right? Why would he leave evidence and answers? Remember we read the first scripture we read, seek ye out of the book and read. None shall want her mate. Right?
Mhm.
So these things that we're looking at is not sufficient. When someone says some things God don't want you to know, no, Negro, some things you don't know.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
There's some things you don't know. Just say that. Don't say God don't want us to know it.
Right. Why
You
would
know?
it exist if God don't want us to know it?
Right.
I mean, it's so much stuff that our minds can only wrap around a certain amount of shit. It's things that our mind just can't comprehend. Like, say somebody just boop, popped right in the middle of the floor right here. We ain't used to that. That ain't what we used to. But when it becomes a thing, you know, I'm just thinking about, y'all seen Panther, the movie Panther? You know, when he was talking to the people in the hologram in his hand. See, that's coming.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, it's here. If they can show it, it's here.
Right.
It's just a matter of them making it affordable for us to be able to afford it.
Give me Ephesians 6:21, man. Some things God don't want you to know, but the Lord said this in the Bible. See, this is the difference between what you get from a Christian pastor and what you get from a Hebrew Israelite. See, this book here is our family journal.
Okay.
So that's no different from me. If I come into your house and you got a family journal and I take your book
Right.
and I tell your children to sit down, I'm gonna tell you your family story. Are you just gonna allow someone to take your family? Listen, brother, I'm not dead. Give me
Right.
my book. Let me tell
Right.
my own
Right.
story.
Because other than that, it's his story.
Exactly.
Ephesians
6:21.
1. But that ye also may know my affairs and how I do.
Hold up. The Lord said what?
But that ye also may know my affairs.
The Lord said He wants you to know His affairs and what?
And how I do.
And how He do. He wants you to know that. So when someone gets to talk about, some certain things God don't want you to know, well then why did He leave a record? Read.
What's this word?
And he trying to sound like to me, God trying to stay transparent.
Exactly.
Like chief, a beloved brother and faithful minister in the Lord shall make known to you all things.
So the Most High sends His servants to make what? Known what?
All to you all things.
To make known to you all things. He sends His servants. And in the Savior's time, He sent out the disciples.
Okay.
Right? Before our Savior's time, He sent out the prophets to deliver the Lord's word. You understand? So He's not sitting back and figure it out for yourself. This book is what gives us an upper hand. Give me Deuteronomy chapter 6. This book and this information, it gives us an upper hand. It gives us an advantage. 6 and 6. No, Salakia, 4. Deuteronomy 4 and 6.
4 and 6. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom.
This is what?
Your wisdom.
Read the verse before that.
Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments.
So the Lord said He taught us something. So you know what that means? That means no one is just gonna wake up all of a sudden one day and say, you know what? The Lord taught me the word of the Bible and the Lord taught me this. No. This is something that you have to sit down and dedicate yourself to. When people say I got a relationship with Jesus Christ, well, what does that mean?
Right. Tell me.
Yeah, because the relationship, the evidence of the relationship is study and the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that you have applied to your life. Right? Read.
Even as the Lord my God commanded me,
Uh-huh.
that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it.
So no matter where you go, do these things that are written in this book. Read.
Keep therefore and do them,
Keep, therefore, and do them. Come on.
for this is your wisdom.
This is what?
Your wisdom.
This will be your wisdom. This is what separates us from the white man. It separates from the Asian man. It separates us from all these other nations because this book gives us what you would call like a cheat code to the system.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
It gives us a cheat code because now we understand what's coming down the tailpipe. If you just wake up one day and it's just war breaking out in the streets, first thing you're going to think is, what is this?
Right.
But if you was watching on the news and you say, hey, the military is 2 blocks away, they'll be at your house in 15 minutes. You gonna be getting ready, you got an upper hand.
Right.
But if you just walk outside and all of a sudden there's a war going on, you're like, yo, what is this? But this is what this book does. Read.
And your understanding in the sight of the nation.
In the sight of who?
The nation.
So in the sight of the nation's gonna sit back and say, man, these people have something that we need. They have the cheat code. They have foresight when it comes to what's going on in this earth. Read.
I mean, wouldn't you think that give white folks all the more reason to try to manipulate, decode, revamp, whatever word you want to use, the book, because they know that, that's our game plan. They're gonna take our plan, our plan book, and change it so we can't win.
Well,
in other words.
the thing is that they have done this through the different translations. All right? They have manipulated the verbiage in the scriptures through their different translations. New Living Standard Translation,
Right.
American Standard, the Baptist Bible, these different translations, they have attempted to do that. But we go and we trust in King James. You know why? You know who King James was?
Yeah.
Tell me about
Kind
it.
of, sort of.
Tell me about it.
He was a king of England. He was
King of England?
a pirate, a Viking, homosexual.
Okay.
Not saying that he can't write a book, but
Hold up.
that's just some of the shit that they said.
Hold up. Okay, so he was a homosexual, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so what color was he?
White.
King James was white. All right. So I got a book here that would beg to differ.
About King James being white.
That's King James right there. That's a brother sitting up there looking like Lionel Richie or something. That's a brother. What other evidence do I have about King James, right? King James was he was the king of England, but he was also from Scotland. Right?
You say it's from Scotland?
Yeah, he was from
King
Scotland.
James?
King James was from Scotland.
I could see us migrating from Africa to Scotland because I watched a movie called The Last.
Well, Moors developed England.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So this is a book here.
What was he called? The Last. It was my man, Forrest Whitaker,
Last King of Scotland.
the last king of Scotland.
Right. It's a brother. Right?
Right.
See this book here? It says, when Scotland was Jewish. Right? So in this book, we're going to get some descriptions of the so-called people of Scotland, right?
Mm-hmm.
Watch this. Read it on there.
The name Douglas means dark stranger.
One of the prominent families in Scotland was the Douglases.
That's what we said about
In the
dark stranger.
right
Gotta
in the
watch out for
school,
Douglas.
we got the school out here. The high
Was trodden down, and aliens kept the stronghold. The heathen had their habitation in that place, and joy was taken from Jacob, and the pipe.
Hold on, that's 3.
That's 45. Yeah, number 45.
Okay, yeah, jump down to the next verse.
Wherefore, the Israelites assembled themselves together and came to Mashpah over against Jerusalem.
Hold on, let me make sure.
Yeah, read it right now.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay, come on.
This is the next scripture.
Yeah, read the next. Go straight to it.
Okay. And laid open the book of the law,
Hold up. They laid open the book of the law. What?
wherein the heathen had sought to paint the
Give me
likeness.
47. You was reading 46.
Then they fasted that day and put on sackcloth and cast ashes upon their heads
Right.
and rent their clothes
Uh-huh.
and laid open the book of the law,
Right.
wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images.
So once you get an understanding of these people in this book, man, they had a relationship with this word, man. You understand? So it was so much so that it represented their relationship with their creator. Because he told you something. You understand? And not only that, he had physical things that was being manifested. It wouldn't be no question, is there a God? It wouldn't be none of that. We are in this condition because our foreparents turned their back on what the Lord said. So he says, all right, so you want to be like the other nations? Well, go ahead. Let me show you what it's like to live without me.
Give you a reprobate mind.
Yeah. You understand? So he says here, read that again.
Right?
Yeah.
And laid open the book of the law,
It said the enemies laid open the book of the law. Come on.
wherein the heathen,
Who?
the heathen,
Heathen is everybody outside the nation of Israel. Any other race outside of the nation of Israel is what?
heathen,
Heathen. Right? Come on.
had sought to paint the likeness of their images.
They sought to paint the likeness of their images. See? You want to know why I believe this book? Because it's giving me direct things that I can see now. They the ones that did this. Hold it. They the ones that did this, right? When you look at the Last Supper and all that, when you look at the people in this book, man, all these people are Caucasian, man.
Right.
Right? Look how they got our Savior looking, man, all
Right.
effeminate, man.
Right.
Look at them clothing. That's Roman apparel, man.
Right.
That's not Hebrew Israelite apparel.
Right.
You understand? So when you look at what they have done, they have laid open our Bible and sought to paint themselves.
Yeah.
I heard something, somebody got mad that they took the robe and shot dice on
Uh-huh.
it.
On one of the sitcom.
No, it was
No, it's in the Bible.
somebody got married or somebody got pissed. I said, that sounds like some niggas do something. Take the robe.
Yeah, Jesus came back and then turned his house into that gambling casino, the whorehouse, and he whooped their ass and threw them out, right? Put his house back in order.
Right.
That sounds like some niggas do.
So I mean,
Just,
you really be able to see the problems that we have within this book. Now back to the original question. Why do I believe the book? We was talking about King James, right?
Right.
I don't want to deviate from these points because these points is in your mind, and I want your mind to change about King James. Number one, first thing we learned is that the Gaelics and the Douglases are dark skinned. Right?
Right.
Let's see if it say anything about King James. Hold this. Do you know what King James' last name was?
No.
Right? Hold on, man. You got to read that Gaelic. So this is just another one of the prominent families that's at that time. But I want you to hear this because it's all a package deal. Read that.
The Gaelic word means black or dark.
Hold up. The word itself means black. Come on.
Such designation probably referred to a dark skin or complexion,
Right. Dark skin, that's key that we understand it. Come on.
as early portraits of the Campbells show them to have olive or tawny skin.
So now when you hear people say Jesus Christ was olive, right?
Right,
You know olives only come in two colors.
right,
Green and black.
right,
So when they say he's olive color, then what color is that? He's
Right.
black.
right.
Come on.
And dark hair and eyes.
And dark hair and eyes, right? Come on.
Material gathered from Melungian genealogies illustrates that several Campbell lines in the American colonies
Mhm.
had Hebrew names.
Hold up, they had what?
Hebrew names.
He said some of the colonies, the people in the colonies had what names?
Hebrew naming patterns.
Hebrew naming patterns. Going back to your first statement, which you said.
How you spell Gaelic?
Gaelic.
What you had said about whether or not all of us came here,
Right.
right, on slave ships. No, all of us did not come on slave ships.
Right.
Some of us came here free. But here's the thing. Those people that came here free, especially those that came from Scotland, was known to have what? What did it say?
Hebrew naming patterns.
Hebrew naming patterns. Let's go. We're getting somewhere now. Hold on. Take a shot. We're getting somewhere now, right? All right. So now we're going into the stewards. King James' last name, by the way, is Stewart.
James Stewart.
James
From
Stewart
Scotland,
from Scotland,
a black man.
right? Right. Remember this, right? This book here says what? It says King James the 6th and the 1st. So he was the 6th James, king of Scotland. He was the first James that was a king of England. Resemble us in regards to our physical gifts, right?
Right.
Let me get
You got one or two every now and then. Matumbo, Elijah Wan.
where are people from?
Matumbo was from Africa.
Yeah, he was from Africa. What part of Africa?
I don't know. Where was Matumbo from?
Well, a lot of it is too that they're not as,
Matumbo, Manobo.
they're not as, they're not as,
Manobo, the Nigerian Nightmare. What was his name? The big running back from Kansas City Chiefs.
The Nigerian nightmare. So now,
Nigerian nightmare.
where's Nigeria at?
In Africa.
Where?
is it West?
Yeah. Where was the slaves picked up from?
The West.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. You understand what I'm saying with that? We
Now, ain't those Hebrew Israels that came from and got pushed out and went to the West?
absolutely. Now I got the history on that, right? Before I get that, let me knock this King James out because I'm going to show y'all that desperate, right? Listen at this, man. It's King James, right? You say, well, why we trust the King James Version Bible? King James was a homosexual. That's a lie, by the way.
Okay.
That was put upon him by a court jester that he threw out his court, and then he went and wrote some stories about King James mad because he got thrown out.
Okay.
All right, this is something that you can go and you can research yourself. But the thing is that people run with that now.
Right.
Because of their hatred for the Bible.
Right.
They got to have something to hate on the
Right.
Bible. Why?
Right.
Because the Bible got laws. I'm
Right.
telling you, man, these laws really is what got people shook.
Right.
That's why Creflo Dollar is standing up in the church now saying that we don't need law, and if you follow law, you're following Satan. So, you mean to tell me if I keep the law, I'm following Satan?
That sounds like it.
I'm a Creflo hell, man.
Listen.
I ain't never gave him nothing though. I didn't.
Yeah.
I gave other guy. I was in this church.
Yeah, I know. I was too, but when I seen this, the ATM at the front door, and then a list of if you make 1,000, you got 100. He had it mic'd out all the way down to the penny, and I was in there that year that they bought him a new helicopter. So
You went to his church?
yeah, I've been there a few times. I mean,
No.
but see, to me,
I went to Eddie Long's church.
Oh, man.
to me, Creflo's church was Freaknik. We wasn't going there for nobody.
Oh, it was?
Nah, man. Them girls sitting up there, boy, they got their dresses on with strawberries dripping down. You know, like, hey, All the time because of traffic on
No, I never,
National.
I never went to Cleflo's, but I went to,
Yeah.
I always-
You went to the pedophile.
Yeah,
yeah.
I went to, I
So when
went
that story dropped,
I
how'd
went to
you
the
feel?
funeral, you know, left
Well,
eye.
I was kinda, you know, when the cat died, you know, I heard his lifestyle. You know, he got a damn Bentley, parking it. He always got the muscle shirts on. I'm like, that sounds right. Many people dropping money. I drop like $5, $10. They were dropping $200.
Damn right.
I'm looking over
Damn
there,
right. He
they
make
writing
a million
checks.
on the weekend.
I'm like,
He making a million.
the mom write the check, the daddy write the check. I'm like, man, I'm in the wrong church, man. Man,
Listen, man.
my church was Cascade.
How long did you go there?
Yeah.
I would go there, you know, I would definitely go there for New Year's Eve's things. You know.
How long you been affiliated with Christianity?
All my life.
All your life?
my life.
All your life? Let me ask you this.
I mean, okay. When you say affiliated,
Just going and knowing about it and being taught it, hearing it from everybody.
I've been kind of changed over a little bit as
Yeah.
I got grown, a little wiser. I stopped being afraid, and I read.
Okay. So now, what's your nationality, man?
I'm a black person.
Okay, you're a black person. See these armbands?
Yeah.
What color is that?
Black.
You this color?
No.
Okay. So black is a color.
Yeah.
So all the time you've been in dealing with Christianity, all the time that you've been, you know, dealing with the Bible according to their view, they never told you who you are according to the Bible.
Yeah, they do they like that.
So is this a coincidence? Let me show you some what King James said. Read that.
The Stewart donor scores.
The Stewart donor scores. Remember, that's his last name, Stewart. We're going to make it clear. Read.
The Stewart donor scores match those of the Caldwell donors in the second wave of immigration.
Uh-huh.
So we now move to a discussion. Those
Jews,
or crypto Jews.
crypto Jews. Now, what's a crypto Jew?
I don't know.
Crypto Jew is an Israelite that practiced Judaism in secret. They go to the Christian church, they go to the Muslim mosque, but when they go home, they practice in Judaism. They did it because of persecution and people trying to kill them.
Okay.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So now, finish reading that.
Who joined their coalition? What I said?
Coreligionists.
Coalitions. That's it. In Scotland, after 1300,
Right?
what we term the Caldwell Stewart
Uh-huh.
haplotype.
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 Now, when you look up the word haplotype, right, what you're going to find out is haplotype is a DNA strand. So, again, even within this book, we're dealing with DNA, man. We're dealing with the historic, with the scientific documentation of who these people were, right? Hold on, we're going to, yeah, bring it out.
The Stewart donor scores
Uh-huh.
match those of Caldwell donors in the second wave of immigration.
Right?
So we now move to a discussion. Those Jews,
Those who?
Jews,
Those Jews, come on,
or crypto Jews,
come on,
who joined their coreligionists
right?
in Scotland after 1300.
Right, so we talking about the 1300s.
1300 slavery
Right.
wasn't even established yet.
Exactly. Come
Not
on.
in America anyway.
Right,
What we term the Caldwell Stewart haplotype
right. Haplotype, you look this word haplotype up, it means DNA. It's a DNA strand, right? Come on, this haplotype, come on,
is the most frequent male haplotype on record.
right?
It is widely distributed.
Hold up, man. Yeah, I need that, but I need this other one first. Read this one first, orange first.
The Stewart family maternal line
Right, the Stewart family line, come on.
in France,
Where? Come on.
was descended from the tribe of Judah.
Hold up now, was descended from where?
The tribe of Judah.
So it says the stewards. Who are the stewards? King James Stewart.
James Stewart.
Right? Come on.
He believes his family
Hold up now. Who? He,
He believes
come on,
his family is of Davidic ancestry.
of Davidic ancestry, come on.
This is from the Jewish King David.
Yeah.
This is from the Jewish King David, right?
Okay.
So what I'm showing you is that,
So the name Stewart is a Jewish, not Jewish, is a Jew name.
right. Well, it's not necessarily Jew because you have to understand the language. He's speaking English
Okay, so he's from Scotland.
from Scotland, right? He's speaking the English tongue from Scotland. But when you dealing with where these things derive from, like there's a Hebrew word for steward. You understand what I'm saying? So you're dealing with a translation or a transliteration. You understand? So what we're showing is that King David feels that his family comes from Davidic ancestry. So you say, well, why do we trust the King James Version? Because he feels his family comes from Davidic ancestry, right? Now go back to the other page. Now finish reading that. Read it again from the top.
The Stewart donor scores match those of Caldwell donors in the second wave
Right.
of immigration.
Uh-huh,
So we now move to the discussion, those Jews or crypto Jews
right,
who joined
Okay,
their-
so not to cut you off, the Caldwells,
right.
Caldwell, Stewart, those were two, I want to say two bloodlines.
Uh-huh.
Were they royal bloodlines
Right.
or
Right.
just black bloodlines?
There was royal bloodlines.
They were who?
It was royal, noble, what you would call noble bloodline,
Okay.
right? So the higher class people, right? And you can get this information in a book called Nature Knows No Color Line. Nature Knows No Color Line by I believe his name is if I'm not mistaken. No, it's not Jim. Right. It's a book called Nature Knows No Color Line. Forgive me on the name, right? So, but you can get the ancestry of the royal ancestry of so-called Europe, right? Read on.
coreligionists in Scotland after 1300s.
Uh-huh.
What we term the Caldwell-Stewart haplotype
Haplotype,
is
come on.
the most frequent male haplotype on record.
Remember, this is a DNA strand, right? Come on.
It is widely distributed throughout Europe.
It's widely distributed throughout Europe, come on.
In America,
And where?
in America,
And in America, come on.
it occurs in most ethnic populations,
Most ethnic populations, come on.
including
Including,
African American.
ooh.
African Americans.
So this Jewish haplotype, first of all, we're not dealing with no Jewish, okay? The ISH on the end of Jew means to pertain to. Like this
Right.
brother's shirt is orange-ish,
Right.
right? This brother's shirt is greenish,
Right.
right? You understand? So the ISH brother could be 6 feet-ish. He's something like a Jew, but he's not a
Something,
real
right,
Jew.
Right.
You understand? So this brother says that this particular haplotype found in the Stewarts and Caldwells are also found in where? In who?
Including African American
Come on.
and Hispanic.
And Hispanics. We've been teaching for years, since the 60s, right? That the so-called Native American, the so-called Hispanic, right, and the so-called African American are the real Israelites that the Bible speaks of. Right? So we can prove this how?
Well, they left. They's already over here. What? Hiding out of.
Oh, nah, yeah, what happened was in
Right, or
in
what?
720 BC, right? 720 BC, there was a split from the northern kingdoms and the southern kingdoms, and the northern kingdoms got removed from the north of Israel. And when they got removed, they got on ships and they came all the way over here. Right? Let's get that, man, in that pocket. 2nd Ezra chapter 13, verse 36.
And Zion shall come
Yeah.
and shall be showed to all men.
Okay, go back to your house.
And shall lay before them their evil thoughts and torments.
Is that it? All right, bring it up.
And whereas thou sawest that he gathered another peaceable multitude unto them,
Right?
those are the 10 tribes,
Those are the 10 tribes, come on,
which were carried away prisoners
that was carried away prisoners, right?
out of their own land,
Out of their own land, come on,
in the time of Osee the king,
right? Osiah,
Osiah the king, whom
Salamanzar, come on,
the king of Assyria,
right?
led away captives.
So they was led away captives, come on.
And he carried them over the waters.
Carried them where?
Over the waters.
Over the waters. Where they going, brother? If they're going over the waters, you tell me where they going. Huh? They going over the water, come on.
And so came
where?
So came they into another land.
Into another land, come on.
But they took this counsel among themselves.
Right?
That they would leave the multitude of the heathen.
Right?
And go forth into a further country.
So they're gonna go further. They're gonna go somewhere where nobody is at. Remember, they had to go over water. Because you got Negroes that's trying to say that they went somewhere in Africa. These people didn't go no Africa. These people went over the water. Right? Come on.
Where never mankind dwelt.
Where never mankind dwelt. Now remember I said that was a
America.
Huh?
America was
that was America. The brother is right. North, Central, and South America is where they came to.
uninhabited.
Until these people got here. Now this was about 1,000 years before Christopher Columbus even thought about making a journey overseas.
Australia? We were there too.
Yeah, we was there too. The Reubenites, known as the Aborigines of Australia, right? Known as the Bushmen.
Right.
Right? So yeah, we got proof of that too. Come on.
Okay. That they might there keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land.
So let me get this straight. Let me get this straight. These people was cast out of their own land. Give me 2 Kings 17:20. These people was cast out of their own land and went to a further country where never mankind dwelt, so they can keep the original law that was given to them from the beginning. Remember we was talking about condition? Right, Wishbone?
Yeah.
We was talking about conditions. So they said, we're going to go to a further country and keep the law. And now you got Clef Low Dollar and these other pork chop eating pastors rising up saying, we don't got to keep no law. Oh, you want to keep the curses going, don't you? Listen, man.
Is that for the money or what?
That's for the money, that's for the prestige, and that's for whatever America want to give them. Drugs, little girls, little boys, whatever they want. As long as they keep the people in darkness. Keep those Israelites away from their law so they can be separate from their God. That's what they want. As long as we separate ourselves from the righteous law that was given to us from the beginning, we will be enslaved. Now, brothers running around here, let you say a Negro is a slave today, and he'll try to bite your head off. But we are in a more of a terrible state than we was when we was in the cotton fields of America. We went from a physical slavery to a mental slavery. They're using the greatest witchcraft on the planet. The greatest wand on the planet is your TV, is your advertising, is your sports and media. All of these things is to keep you distracted and disconnected from your power, who's been calling, stretching forth his hand all day, calling for a gainsaying and disobedient people. Let me get that. Hold that. Hold that, and let me get Romans chapter 10, verses 22. Romans 10:22. This is what the Lord said. Let me tell you, all this thing is about order and law. And anybody that stands up and tell you that you don't got to keep no law, they got to be out of their mind. Because if right now, if I told you I got an apartment complex over here you can move, you and your family can move into, but I tell you, hey, it ain't no law, will you move your family over there if I tell you it ain't no law? Well, because I need order. I don't need nobody breaking in my house. I don't need nobody breaking in my car. I don't need Negroes running up and down, hanging out all the time at night. I don't need that. So how can a Christian pastor stand up and tell a whole congregation that the law is done away with? Are you out of your mind? What are we going to do with this? If it's no law, then you can just take my wife then, can't you? You can just take my wallet whenever you feel like it. Read.
But to Israel he saith, all day long, I have stretched forth my hands unto a disobedient.
To what?
Disobedient.
How can we be disobedient? This is the New Testament. How can we be disobedient if it ain't no law, man?
That's right.
Right? It got to be some sort of law
Right.
for you to be obedient
For you
to.
to abide by, right.
Exactly. But the Christian church stand up and say, hey, you don't worry about that. That's that Old Testament. This is Romans here, what I'm reading. This is the New Testament. Read it again.
But to Israel he saith, all day long I have stretched forth my hands unto a disobedient and gainsaying people.
And gainsaying people, man. Right? So go back to Kings now. So now if we can't understand that when you go in your house, if you got children, you want your children to make sure their room is clean. You want to make sure they brush their teeth. You want to make sure that they're respectful to their mother. You know what that is? That's law.
That's law. That's
So,
right.
so how you gonna tell me in the Christian church as a man, I don't gotta keep the law? You out of your mind? But yet you sure want that tithing offering that come from the Old Testament, don't you? So every time he asks for offering, I say, oh, brother, the law is done away with. That's that Old Testament. That's what Negroes should be saying if they had any brains, instead of sending money to Cutthroat Dollar so he can buy a $15 million jet or however much it costs.
Yeah, it's about like that.
So what you need to do is say, hey, I got the laws done away with, Mr. Dollar.
Yeah.
And let me tell y'all something. That ain't
You got
that
the
big.
jet.
And Jeroboam drove Israel
Yeah.
drove Israel
Right, is right too.
from following the Lord.
All right. So what I did was I'm reading that scripture to substantiate what you were saying about the original peoples of America. Right. So this was in conjunction with the other thing. Right. So now I want to go back to the original point before the King James, when we was talking about, give me Deuteronomy 4. We was talking about this law in regards to.
But a quick note: how do we get excluded from all that money in the land? We're original people.
How do we get that?
How do we get excluded?
That's a great question, brother. That's a great question. We Deuteronomy 28.
Because they getting paid, still getting paid.
Yeah.
Who that is?
Look at Indians.
Oh, damn right.
Because we came here as
They ain't really
slaves.
the real
And,
Indians.
and let me tell you something, man. A lot of the so-called Native Americans got classified as Negroes, so the government wouldn't have to pay. That was purposely done. So you got brothers running around here that they would tell you that they African American, but really they of the native. They of the original peoples of this land. They just don't know it. You understand? Because they look like you and I, right? And this thing is done purposely. So we would all lose our heritage and our identity. Deuteronomy 28.
Yeah, a lot of white people jumped on the $2 Indian thing.
Yeah.
They started
$5
passing
Indian.
$5 Indian. They
Yeah.
start passing for Indians. over there.
Exactly. What's called on the DOS rolls, right? They had a DOS rolls where you would go and sign up, pay $5 and get your name on the list. White people did that, so you got white people running around telling me I got Indian in me. You telling a damn lie. Okay? Read. 15. These the brothers ask a direct question. We don't give them a direct answer.
But it shall come to pass,
If
thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God,
He said, if we will not hearken unto the voice of the Lord our God, come on.
to observe,
To what?
to observe,
To observe, come on.
to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Right. That all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. So this was a condition on our people. He gave us a righteous law. Our people agreed to that law, and therefore, give me Deuteronomy, Exodus chapter 20 and 5. And we agreed to that law, and us agreeing lock our children into that agreement. So now we are under these particular curses. But let's see about that locking the children in. Read.
Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them,
Right?
nor serve them.
Right?
For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God,
Come on.
visiting the iniquity
Uh-huh.
of the fathers
Right.
upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me.
Right. So every time if your father was raised up and he hated the Lord, guess what? Another fourth and fifth generation. You understand? So this is things that we have to battle. Now the question is, did we keep the law? Give me Daniel 9 and 12. Shalakia 9 and 11. Daniel's 9 and 11. Right? See, this is what I'm saying, Bone. A lot of our people have these deep questions within them, which causes a stumbling block for them coming over into this truth. Because I'm trying to figure out, well, brother, why am I poor? Why am I struggling? Why I'm the first fire last hire? Why I'm the one that's getting racially profiled? Why I'm the one that's being shot down, shot dead in the street? Why am I the one that when I walk into some place, I'm immediately considered a criminal? Why is this happening? Well, the Lord said, if your foreparents didn't keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, and if you, Negro, don't keep these commandments, you are going to continue this trouble. Read.
Yea, all Israel have transgressed thy law.
No, some of them.
All Israel have transgressed thy law.
So the Bible confirms that all these people have what?
Transgressed thy law.
And what has happened to them? Read.
Even by departing,
Uh-huh.
that they might not obey thy voice.
Right.
Therefore, the curse,
The what?
the curse
The curse is what?
is poured upon us.
Do you understand that, man? That's a direct answer, man. That's a direct answer. Well, why we ain't getting that money over there in Israel? Read it again.
Yea, all Israel
Uh-huh.
have transgressed thy law.
Uh-huh.
Even by departing.
Even by what?
Departing.
So now Clutchlow Dollar stand up. I just want you to think about this, man. Clutchlow Dollar stand up and say, we don't got to keep no law. But the Bible says, okay, yeah, nobody's keeping the law. Read.
Yea, all Israel have transgressed thy law.
Uh-huh.
Even by departing.
Right?
That they might not obey thy voice.
Uh-huh.
Therefore, the curse is poured upon us.
Therefore, the curse is poured upon us, man. What curse? That curse that we read in Deuteronomy 28, man. When you go and you wonder why our brothers' eyes are evil towards each other, this is in the curses. Right? Finish reading. You got any more on that?
And the oath
Uh-huh.
that is written in the law of Moses,
Right? What we just read in Deuteronomy is the law of Moses. Come on.
the servant of God,
Uh-huh.
because he hath sinned against him.
Right. So now, go back to Deuteronomy 28. 28 and 54. We want to know why Negroes, Bone, you see why? This is why I trust this book, man. Can't no other book do this, man. Read.
So that the man that is tender among you,
Uh-huh.
and very delicate,
Right?
his eye shall be evil toward his brother.
His eyes shall be evil towards his brother. That's why you see Negroes when they walk past each other, they niggas looking at each other crazy. Oh, nigga, what's up, what's up, what's up? All that stuff. This man ain't said nothing to you, he's just walking. What are you talking about? What's up, what's up, what's up? You understand? While you sitting in the car, you see black people come up, you hit the lock. You see a white man with a briefcase, you roll the window down and say, how you doing, sir? Why? Because our eyes is evil toward each other. This is the curses that was poured out upon us that the Bible said it definitely happened to us.
Why do we, for us to break the curse, we gotta obey the law.
For us to obey it, for us to break the curse?
Yeah.
No, for us
Is
to,
the curse breakable?
yeah, the curse is breakable. Let's see. Let me get Numbers chapter 15, Numbers 14 and 7. Numbers 7 and 14. 7 and 14. No, not Numbers. First, Chronicles. First Chronicles 7 and 14. First Chronicles 7 and 14. Brother said, is the curse breakable? Let's see. Go 14 and 7. Second Chronicles, might be Second Chronicles. Yeah, Second Chronicles. Like it. Second Chronicles 7:14. 7:14, yeah.
If my people,
Uh-huh.
which are called by my name,
So if my people, which are called by my name, come on,
shall humble themselves,
shall do what?
humble themselves,
Humble themselves, come on.
and pray,
And what?
and pray,
And pray, come on.
Yeah.
and seek my face,
Uh-huh.
and turn from their wicked ways.
Hold up, if they do what?
Turn from their wicked ways.
Turn from their wicked ways, come on.
Then will I hear from heaven,
Then will the Lord hear from heaven and what?
and will forgive your sin, and forgive their sin,
Right?
and will heal their land.
So not only are the curses breakable, is breakable, but we gonna break. And it's gonna be a remnant of us that do the right thing according to the Lord. But it's gonna be a lot of us. 2/3 of us are gonna have to be destroyed.
That'll work, that's right.
Right? But we have a choice as an individual on what we need to do. Deuteronomy 30 and 15. All right, young brother.
See, I have set before thee
Uh-huh.
this day life and good,
Right?
and death and evil.
Right?
You know?
Read.
In that I command thee this day to love the Lord thy God,
Right?
to walk in his ways,
To do what?
walk in his ways,
Come on.
and to keep his commandments,
And to keep his commandments. Come on.
and his statutes,
Right?
and his judgments,
Uh-huh.
that thou mayest live and multiply.
Right? So he said if we want to live and multiply, we got to keep these commandments, man. Listen, this thing is not something that's just terribly difficult. Because you're already doing some of them naturally.
Right.
You know not to steal.
Kill.
You know not to kill. You doing that naturally. So what you got to do is you got to make yourself familiar with these other things that are required of you. Do these things, right? And then the Lord will start dealing with you on another level, but you got to submit yourself to study, man. Okay? This is the problem. You raising children, you got children, man, and your child come to you and say, Daddy, what's my nationality? And you turn around and look at that child, you tell that child, you black? You're doing a disservice to that child. If you say, no, well, you're African American, you're doing a disservice to this child because you're greater than that. What is that? That's no, is African American in the Bible? You understand? So black is a color. Black is in the Bible. We gonna show it to you. You understand? Because we can prove it out of shadow of a doubt the reason that we believe. We believe it's because it's there. We just got to make ourselves familiar with it, man. You understand? That's our problem, our people. We too distracted, man. We damn going 100 miles an hour. We never make time for the Lord, man.
Right.
You understand? So what we got to do is we have to understand that, you know, some things we got to let go, man. In regards to our behavior and the way we carry ourselves. We know we're living in a wicked world. But that effort of you trying to make peace with the Lord, what it says in 2 Chronicles chapter 7, verse 14, if we turn and seek his face. This is with an action, not just with a word, not just with me saying, yeah, Lord, I believe. That ain't enough for the Lord.
Right.
You understand? Read on what you got there.
And the Lord thy God shall bless thee in the land whither thou goes to possess it.
Right, give me Isaiah chapter 30. Isaiah chapter 30. Because our people got a problem, man. They don't want to hear this, man. They don't want to hear this.
31.
No, start at 10.
Which say to the seers,
Start at 8.
now go, write it before them in a table.
9.
That
Call it and read.
Isaiah chapter 30, verse 9.
Uh-huh.
That this is a rebellious people.
What is our people?
Rebellious people.
We're rebellious people. Come on.
Lying children.
What are we?
Lying children.
We're a bunch of damn liars, man. You understand? This is all the curse being poured upon us. Scripture said we're not supposed to lie one to another. So why are we a bunch of damn liars, man?
All we do is lie to each
You
other.
understand? That's it, man. Oh man, I went downtown, went to the casino last night, man. I won me a couple $100. You know you went there and lost your rent money. You know you went there and lost your damn car payment, man. Why is you lying to get me in there so I can go? Let me go see what I can make. Let me go see what I can get.
Right.
You understand? Bunch of damn liars, man.
Blind
Read.
leading the blind.
Yeah.
Children that will not hear the law.
They won't do what?
Children that will not hear the law.
Chef No Dollar stand up and say, we don't have to follow no law, but pay your tithes. If that ain't the greatest contradiction in the history of contradiction, I don't know what it is. We don't have to keep no law in the Old Testament. That's old. Oh, but don't forget to pay your tithes. Right? Read.
Children that will not hear the law of the Lord.
Uh-huh.
Verse 10, which say to the seers,
What do they say?
see not.
So the people who can see and understand, they say, hey, we don't want to hear nothing about that, man. We don't want to hear that. Read.
And to the prophets.
They say to the prophets, those that can go into the scriptures and show you certain near events, new events that's going to happen. Right? Come on.
Prophesy not unto us right things.
Don't tell us right things. And that's why this Bible is cold. Listen, man, the Quran can't do this, bro. The Bible said this is what our people would do. Read it again from the top, man. This is amazing.
Which say the seers,
Say to the seers, come on.
see not.
See not, we don't want to hear nothing about that, man. Every time we go, we deal with people, man. You know, says always, oh. Just like the pastor, man. Once I started hitting them with this, I wasn't even hitting them. I was lightly hitting them. He said, oh, whoa, wait a minute, man. I gotta go. Wait a minute. Why, 5 seconds ago, you said you ain't had nothing going on. Why?
Hung up on us.
Hung up. Right? Why? Because of this scripture right here. This is prophecy, man. I'm living this thing, man. Come on.
Which say to the seers,
Uh-huh.
see not.
See not, come on.
And to the prophets,
Right?
prophesy not unto us right things.
Don't tell us what the right thing to do. Don't tell us to keep the law. Don't tell us to love our neighbor. Don't tell us to honor our brothers. Don't tell us to do none of that. We want to go to the club and we want to shake it up.
Right.
We want to go to the strip club. We want to throw some money.
Right.
All right? That's what we want to do. But no, the Lord said, don't tell us what?
Right things.
Right? Come on.
Speak unto us smooth things.
There you go.
Prophesy deceit.
Clef Low Dollar right there. Clef Low Dollar to these people is not, he's not taking advantage of these people. He's the punishment for these people being disobedient to the Lord. You don't want the truth? I'm going to raise up Clef Low Dollar and he just going to take complete and utter advantage of you.
Right. That's what he do. You got that brand new ATM sitting at the front door, little boy. That bad
Y'all
boy.
got that.
That bad boy. Yeah, no, but his is, you got to see his look like.
Most churches got that.
His look like, look, Eddie, his is yay tall, yay fat. You can handle your business. I can handle my business at the same time. Oh man.
You got multi-slots.
Yeah.
Okay?
And they make sure that ain't nobody chipping them.
Yeah.
You know, they make sure ain't nobody getting. They gonna get your money. Ain't nobody gonna chip you. We go because they got security standing right there. They ain't looking at you, but they looking at you.
Right. Yeah.
The big
So-
niggas, the big Falcon, ex-Falcon players.
Yeah.
And shit.
So this is the punishment that's upon these people. This is to punish them. I'm saying the people that's going into the church, this Clef Low Dollar is their punishment.
Yeah, they got him though. They ran up in there and robbed old Creflo and his flock. They didn't get all of them, but they got about 400-500 of them, laid them down, went through all their purses, got cell phones, got everything, jumped in the van.
Yeah.
Ain't got away.
Yeah, well, hey man, you know, the Lord
Right.
give it
There you
and
go.
the Lord take it away. Right?
They got him that one time. I ain't never heard of nothing else happening though. He got some surveillance and security. He's got a beefed up security.
I'm sure he
squad.
does. I'm sure he does. Can't even shake the man's hand, you know?
No, ain't none of that. If you're not in his $100,000 club,
Yeah.
you really can't put in saying, I need counseling or whatever. Not from him. He'll send you off to a third party or a fourth party.
Yeah.
Now, in order for you to talk to him, you gotta be up there on that. You gotta be a frequent man.
Ain't that something?
Man, you can't sit in them first 100 rows if you ain't $100,000. You ain't sitting up in there. You ain't sitting up in there.
Unbelievable.
Homie, you gonna be from here to cricket. You know, that's about right. About from here to cricket. So you'll probably see him on the big screen TVs, but now, you know, as you come on up to churches, to the car, to right here. If you sitting down here on this row,
Yeah.
oh, everybody already know you automatic. You know, that's the celebrity section, like, Evander Holyfield. Holyfield was at, Eddie Long. That was Eddie Long's home.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, but Creflo got his people too. He might have like Braxton's. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a who's who in Atlanta, man.
Yeah, man, I mean, but that's the thing though, right? You know, so that's the thing. That's why the Lord's saying what he's saying, right? Read.
Man,
It's unbelievable, man.
you know, that's where all the money is, I can tell you that. They black folks.
Hey, listen, over there at Cascade, that wasn't no joke. How long?
Yeah, I'm September to November.
A month, 2 months.
And the first day they raised 500,000. I was like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
I'm in the wrong church.
Yeah. Well, you know,
I
because
said, I'm proud of the wagon truck up there.
in
I'm
Oklahoma,
in the
you
wrong
got,
church.
Oklahoma, you got
It
all
is a small town church. They was building a new church.
baskets.
They was building a new
And
church.
you might have 40 baskets on each line. When the basket come down, it goes down, it comes down to this man. It all comes down to a man. And they be baskets, homie. And they be going in whatever this little room is. And you got cats with guns in the church, always have. Right there at them doors. Ain't none of that. Ain't none of that slick stuff. You see it go in, but you don't see it come out. Not them baskets. And then they might say, hey, we want to do just
It was good for us to have money
just
like
to make
that.
sure
That wealth in the
if
church.
you wanted to give and you didn't give, we're gonna give you one more chance to give it. And them fill up too. But I'm talking about cash, man. There's a bunch of checks in there too. Now they done got smart, homie. They got to do with the phone. You can slide your thing right there. If you ain't got no cash, if you ain't got no card, you can come on, bam, hit you right there. It's high tech. They got the laptops, the iPad. It's high tech. It ain't what we thinking.
Yeah.
A lot of it ain't cash no more. It's already it go right from your bank account to his.
So now you saying is that good to have to give money to the church?
Well, was it meant to be that much money in the church?
Yeah, I mean, well, listen, if you're doing the righteous work of the Lord, then and you're able to actually do the things that you're supposed to be doing with the money, because the money, it tells you in Acts chapter 2 how to distribute the money. You understand?
Read that.
Acts chapter 2?
Because I can't say that Creflo's money don't do nothing. Because the nigga got the shopping center like this. Remember, he bought the Walmart, not Walmart, it was Kmart up there. And now he's got the Bible college. He's got the church. And then he's got that little sick and shut in for people who might be on hospice or whatever. He got Old National on lockdown on flat shows then.
Yeah. I remember 20 grand. I didn't know the rest is 20 grand.
20 grand, hey man, 20 grand is
I
Walmart.
don't know what it look like that.
Walmart,
20 grand.
20 grand, Walmart. And boy, I done had some days up in 20 grand. That's why I go to the Walmart. You know? 20 grand was one of them spots. Frozen Palace is still across the street. You know? Fat Tuesdays is closed. That was a Blockbusters or something. They done made that into something else. But everything right after that, that's Creflo. Actually, across the street from 20 grand is a shopping center.
It is.
You know, it's just a bunch of little stores and a little Miss Winters right there. And then you got them Bushes, a little bridal tuxedo shop.
Mm-hmm.
Everything after that is Creflo Dollar, all the way up. Not all the way up, but up. Pretty good. He owns some space, man. This cat owns some space.
Start at the 45th verse. 45.
2:25.
Yeah.
And sold their possessions and goods,
Give me the verse before that.
and all that believed were together, and had all things common, and sold their possession, possessions and goods, and parted them to all men,
Hold on, it said they had all things common, and they did what?
sold their possessions and goods.
What is this act? This is that.
Acts, this is when how the church was dividing the money for whatever purposes that they needed it for.
And
I wonder is that what made Mace get out of his Rolls Royce and open up his church? He had a nice church too, but
Right.
picking up transvestites out there on Peach Street, and he just fell all the way off, man. He had the trainee or whatever he was. You leave Mace alone. Put Mace up on the tow truck in his Benz, and Mace had a big church on Treasure Bridge.
I thought Mace, he went back to rap, didn't he?
Yeah, well, he lost his church. He lost everything.
Oh man, I didn't know he went back to rap because he lost his church.
Yeah, man, he had a church on Treasure Bridge. That was my son's mom went to his church, had it going. Nice church. Treasure Bridge is like 4 acres compared to this over here.
Yeah.
This is Creflo and them over here. He had a War Acres type thing. He had over 500,000 followers, members. Mace was doing really good. Mace was killing it.
Is Church Bridge that 85?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Mace was up there, man. Mace was up there by Club Onyx. The strip club Onyx, right across the street from Onyx. I don't know if that's what threw him off.
Yeah, man, I seen some of his teachings, man. That man don't know a damn thing about the
No, man, he looked the same on stage as he did at a rap concert, with the clothes and the all black, super black hair, you know, shaved up. He was getting it, man. Mace was getting it. Mace had about maybe a 5-year run. It didn't last long, but about 5 years. He
gotta be ashamed of this game.
Yeah, he got caught up. He can't come back after that though, because he was on the news in Atlanta, so he then ran off to doing some more stuff. I don't know if he's back in church or back rapping or
No,
what.
I seen him on what was it, 97.9, one of them New York radio stations where he talking about he put out a disc record, he cursing all over the record, and he said he back.
He got out and gave somebody his chain, his Rolex, his car, and he did some real stupid stuff in Atlanta. I mean, like he walked away from rap, but he was saying how God blessed him, how fortunate he was. His church was. He had 500, man. The man had 500,000 members, man. I mean, you know, he had a little satellite church too. He had his church and then a satellite church. But Creflo got, you said you got these life churches all around?
Yeah.
Can't mess with Creflo. Creflo sitting in every Holiday Inn. If you don't go to church, you can go and watch him on closed circuit. And you give right there. You know, it's under his name. You can send your donations to whatever that is on that screen. From right to your phone. He makes it really, really easy. But you're talking Creflo, that's not the #1 pastor, man. That dude from Wheat Street Baptist Church, that oldest church in Atlanta, the slave church. His granddaddy, it's a family thing, man. If you ain't one of them boys, you ain't gonna become the pastor. That church is on lock.
That's bigger than Creflo?
They don't even mention this guy. Remember when the IRS was going after the black churches? You ain't heard of Wheat Street Baptist Church. They ain't in that. They don't want to be on Fortune 5. You already know what it is. They birthed them little churches. I wouldn't be surprised if Creflo wasn't birthed from that church. So whatever Creflo make, he still got to pay Wheat Street Baptist Church. Jasmine Guy's daddy made all that money where the Falcons made the new Bench Stadium. That church stayed there and everybody was gone. That man said, "No, I want 20 million. I'm gonna stay here." Arthur Blank said, "Write him a check. Get him on out the way because we need to make this stadium happen." And he was from Wheat Street Baptist Church. Man, these old. See, Georgia got some old slave traditions, man. Morris Brown University was the first black university founded by slaves and ex-slaves, right? Well, from Morris Brown came Morehouse, Clark, Atlanta, And that's what it is. That's the AUC, Clark Atlanta, Morris Brown, Morehouse. Those are old slave colleges from Wheat Street Baptist Church. When Martin Luther King then was marching, they went and ate at Pascal's, owned by Wheat Street Baptist Church. Police ain't running up in there like that. Those were the people that they say, hey, look, let us give y'all a couple of $100,000, $1 million, and you pacify these people. Shut these people up. Here's the money. Shut them up. Take the money and start telling the people, hey, listen, we're gonna do a non-violent march. We're gonna just do a sit-in.
Yeah.
We're gonna just do a sit-in. We're not gonna fight nobody.
Took that money, man.
Took that money.
Them niggas gonna pay for that too, man.
Took that money. But they'll tell you about T.D. Jakes. They'll tell you about, but it was a black man that was working with Obama. Remember the black man that caused the little stir up? What pastor was he? Can't think of his name, but he was from Wheat Street Baptist Church. They hurried up and got him out of there, and Obama still won the presidency. But they shut him up though because he was the one saying, hey, fuck that. It's time now.
The black brother.
Yeah, the pastor.
Yeah.
He was from Wheat Street Baptist. Man, you look up Wheat Street Baptist Church. That church might be from when was slavery over 1763? That might have been from 15.
You said he got more members. They got more members than Club O'Donnell.
Hell yeah.
Wheat Street?
Wheat Street Baptist Church.
Wheat Street.
It's WHEAT. Wheat Street Baptist Church.
Yeah, I gotta look at that.
He's the man that, remember when Muhammad Ali couldn't box?
Right.
Where Muhammad Ali's first fight was when he came out of prison?
Oh, wow.
Atlanta. Atlanta. We'll give him a shot. You can't mess with Atlanta. You gotta go through Wheat Street Baptist Church. Those are old slave dudes. Them dudes they got this knowledge that you got right here. They got it, but they suppress it and they make the people. It's like, y'all go and drink the Kool-Aid. It's good. Taste it. It's good.
That's
It's
unbelievable.
good.
Wheat Street Baptist Church. You know, man.
That's the church. You see that one? That's sitting right up under what?
Wheat Street Baptist Church is located at 359 Auburn Avenue in the Sweet
Auburn.
Auburn neighborhood
Damn
of
right.
Georgia.
Sweet Auburn Avenue.
Sweet.
That's the Chitlin Circuit. If you was Red Fox, no. Let's go back to Mom's Mabley. They all performed there.
At the church?
At the comedy listen, the church. Yes. Yeah, look at the church. That church was the hotel when people came because they didn't have a place for black people to live. You couldn't rent hotel rooms. You know what? Let's go to Wheat Street Baptist Church. Wheat Street Baptist Church got their own hotels for all Gladys Knight, the Pips, anybody that was somebody, Sidney Poitier, Harry Belafonte, the white woman squeezed his arm on TV, was the first time a white lady and a black man did a song on TV together. The white lady held him too close and the TV short circuited. It went to a commercial. Wheat Street Baptist Church said, hurry up, put it back on. We gonna roll with it because y'all are putting too much emphasis on it. People ain't paying no attention to that. Put it back on. When we do the boycott, when we do the bus route, the bus boycott, we gonna talk about it from right here.
Oh, those are major sellouts then, man. Those are the top sellouts in the game.
That's them. That's them. You can't touch them though, because they are bigger than. And them folks, man.
That's all right, man.
All
They
that
gonna
shit
pay.
you talking though is you telling the truth, man. You telling the truth. Cause you cannot go down there nowhere near Wheat Street Baptist Church with no black Israelite, nothing. Nothing. They will come and get you quick. Move you on. They'll move you on and give you a stage and a mic and a light and everything you need. Just don't be over here. What y'all need? Y'all need what? Y'all need loudspeakers and everything? Cool. Give them loudspeakers. Give them everything. Send some folks down there to listen to them. Ain't messing with them. You're not.
Okay.
You're not. But Creflo he get his little bread. He get his little bread, but he ain't getting none of them niggas get loaf. They got the loaf. It's like maybe 8, 9 generations in that right there. You know? They like Barber Brothers. You know the Barber Brothers hair products?
Yeah.
That's 70 that's it's about 73 years. Let me see how old that is. Yeah, that was, they do that. That's old money. How old is the Warner Brothers hair show? Started in 1947 by Dr. Nathaniel. All of these are pastors.
1947.
All of these are pastors. Dr. Nathaniel Bonner.
Well, they started that
Senior.
with
Those are those are all pastors. And
Nat Turner, right?
all the, yeah. See,
They started the payoff with Nat Turner.
Nat, they covered him up. He was really a hero.
Right.
He was really a hero. They done changed it around to where, man, he's a scum of the earth, man. What's his name? The dude that shot Abraham Lincoln is more popular than Nat Turner. Booth, the Booth dude that killed Lincoln. Look at it. People praise that dude. Nat Turner don't get no love. None.
Yeah, they showed trying to paint him out to be an Uncle Tom in that movie.
Birth of a Nation.
Yeah, man, that was real. When I seen that, but I'm saying that was the thing.
That was supposed to be wrote by a
But
brother.
I'm saying that's the weak church and Clef O'Donnell. What he was doing first before he started the movement. He started crying. He's had to go in there. A lot of them people like that, man.
Mm-hmm.
Them brothers now today though, they ain't got no sympathy. They don't even damn.
Nah, they want to be able to come to church, man, and break off 10%. They want to be able to come up in that bad boy and break off about 50 racks every Sunday. Because they're getting that kind of bread. They're getting that kind of bread.
That's so crazy to me that that's still going on right now. Tough.
Man, you got to go to Atlanta and see it. First of all, in that church right there, homie, if you ain't super suited and booted, you gonna feel inadequate anyway. If you ain't got on gaiters, big blocks, and your linen suits, you gonna feel kind of, cause it's like I said, man. You see Lisa Ray them in church, the Brat. You might see some of anybody that It's a movement. Atlanta's a movement. It ain't about this real word, because in Atlanta, man, they got gay churches where the first lady is a man. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, you can look that up too, because that church was right there by Greenbrier, the gay church, right there by Greenbrier. It was packed. It was packed.
Atlanta's the new gay capital, man.
Oh yeah, it is.
When they sell that, see, when they sell, that ain't nothing new. Shit, what is that? That's about 15 years old. Atlanta been the gay capital for about 15. How long rap been in Atlanta? Atlanta was gay when they stopped goddamn Freaknik and started Gay Pride. Because Gay Pride is Freaknik. Gay Pride is a move. It's Atlanta, man. What we got out here, Black Friday? They got Pink Friday in Atlanta. That's when all the gays don't spend their money with nobody but gays. If you gay, you spend your money, your shops is open. But that money, man, them motherfuckers change laws. Ain't no Freaknik. It's Gay Pride because they money. Man, it's called the LGB. What they call that? That's the headquarters in Atlanta. Gay and lesbian. Say something. Say faggot.
Oh yeah.
Say faggot in Atlanta. You going to jail.
Yeah, they arrest you.
You going to jail. That's a terroristic threat. Call somebody a faggot.
Say nigga all day.
In the name. Your ass is under the dick.
Damn, son.
But you can say nigga all day.
Oh yeah.
Hey.
That's an anthem. That's a battle cry, pretty much. But
Hey, man, we got some strong brothers out there teaching.
yeah. They got that economic power though. They understand the power of their money. They put their money together. They pool their money together. They change
Why
the
black
laws.
people can't do that?
Well, Atlanta they do. They just got another black mayor in Atlanta, Keisha. She ain't even whiny. She's a real sister.
Well, I mean,
Keisha might have yours.
it's to me, it's It's what you fight for the religious part of it, and it's another fight for the money part of it. They don't want that together. They don't want us to learn about what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And they definitely don't want us to get together and put our money together.
Damn right. Damn right. You damn right, because every time you come with, this is a black thing, Black Lives Matter, here come the gays. Come the gays. The gays always split the black. You got a choice on being gay, homie. You ain't got no, I'm going black. There's a choice in your gay life.
Right.
But if you black, man, you born black. It ain't no choice in that. But they still split it right there. They give them some of what we deserve. They give them
I got
some
some
of
of the
what we
spiritual
deserve.
music, man.
Rebellious. What would you do if you found out it was you too? Rebellious. What would you do if you found out it was you too? Rebellious. What would you do if you found out it was you too? You rolled the dice, didn't get it right. Your savior come back to kill you. Rebellious. What would you do if you found out it was you too? Rebellious. What would you do if you found out it was you too? Rebellious. What would you do if you found out it was you too? You rolled the dice, didn't get it right. Your savior come back and kill you. Rebellious. If you are a leader, tell me how you leading. Are you leading righteously? Are you out deceiving? Expunging all your flaws, or you pay the cost? Continue in your ways and take a major loss. Yahweh gave his life for a holy nation, not for you to take his word and make an occupation. Though a workman is worthy of his labor, you can play with the sheep of his flock and face the Savior.
It is a dreadful thing to fall into the hands